everyone, old school Pokemon here, back again with podcast episode number 12, joined as usual by my co-host Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles. How are we doing tonight, Dan?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Excited to get started here tonight.
Yeah, always look forward to this every couple of weeks. So
makes for a fun Wednesday night for sure.
Yeah. Ready to jump right into the questions?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So Andrew N asked, how do you guys list items? For instance, what's your method of taking pictures? I'm guessing old school Pokemon has a method with his crazy amount of bulk liftings. So for me, I outsource my photography. I'm not much of a photographer. I pay a family member every couple of weeks to come in and just do, especially when I get a 400 or 500 card return. That's like quite a lot of photos to do. So when I'm ready, when I've got my folder of all those images that have already been done, I try to list them in order by like set and by grade. It's pretty easy and quick to do a listing for a PSA 9 Jungle First Edition Pincer, and then go straight to like a PSA 9 Jungle First Edition Wiggly Tusk. Because so much of the information in the listing, you just change the name and you change like the set number. All the default description, the grade, the grading company, that's all the same. So for me, I really 95% of what I list is just single graded cards. So if I go to list a PSA card, I go put down a PSA card, sell similar, and pre-fills all the bulk of the information properly. And same thing with CGC. I just go to a similar CGC card, sell similar, change the few things I need to change, upload the proper pictures, and go from there. How about you? I think you sell a lot of raw stuff. I think you like stock images for some stuff, right?
I'm pretty similar to you, where I usually start out by I'll since you talk about graded cards, I pretty much do the same thing as you for graded cards. So I'll talk about like raw cards to mix it up a bit. So when I originally get a collection that I want to list on eBay, I'll start off by organizing everything numerically by set. So starting off with base set, you got all your rares, uncommons, commons, organized all numerically. Then I'll go back through, organize everything by the condition, sleeve everything up, and then I'll go ahead and take pictures of everything. For the pictures, I've always liked using just a black poster board. I got a little LED like light that hangs over the poster board that I use. And then I just use my iPhone and a tripod. So I got the tripod set up, zoomed in, so the card takes up the whole frame. And then I'm just kind of shifting cards into the frame, snapping a picture, shifting to the side, grab the next one, so on and so forth. So for me, the actual like listing process and taking picture process, that doesn't take much time at all. The hardest part for me is actually sorting through everything, organizing it by condition, sleeving everything up. That's definitely what takes the most time. Pictures don't take much time at all. And then when it comes time to actually creating an eBay listing for whatever I'm listing, I do what you do. Just create similar. So say I'm listing a base set Arcanine. I'll go to my eBay store, click on base set, click on uncommon cards, grab a random uncommon card, click create similar, and then all I'm doing is I'm changing the name of the card, the number of the card, the picture, and then the name and number in my description as well. So that's really all I'm changing. And then of course the quantity, occasionally the pricing, but usually once I sort through everything, pictures and the actual listing process take a matter of minutes, I would say, per listing. So My first question is from, let's see, Daniel C. He asks, when using GSP, there is an option to ignore your country shipping preferences. Since eBay would have responsibility after it reaches Kentucky, is this option worth enabling? So for me, I actually don't use GSP. I've never used it in the past, so I'm just going to defer this one right to you.
Short answer, yes. Long answer, and I'll try to keep it not too long, but my default shipping preferences is I ship nowhere except the United States. And then there is that little select box where you can check it, and then it will allow the GSP to essentially override the fact that I only ship to the US, and it will ship it worldwide essentially to, I think there's certain countries that like eBay GSP doesn't even deal with, but whatever the pre-approved list, I don't care where it goes. You get the item to Kentucky and the tracking to show delivered, all the stress and all the worry is just gone. They shoulder all that burden from there. So if you're comfortable shipping internationally direct, great, do it. I did it for a while and I just didn't really like it. I had more issues, so I opted to go to GSP and I've never looked back because it's just it's for the seller, it's a win-win. It's like you're reaching this market that you don't want to deal with directly. It can only help you in either any amount of sales to an international buyer you wouldn't have gotten if you were shipping just to the US, right? So on their end, it's a bit more expensive, all that noise. Some people get really butthurt over it, I think. International people that are buyers, it's like, I'd rather have an option to buy something with a little bit higher shipping fees than not buy it at all. So it's like, don't buy it if you don't want to buy it. But it's another option. So I think that covers it.
Oh, I think so.
So Big Bad Shoe asks, what are your guys' thoughts on the Stamp 2004 Tropical Winds? Just purchased a mint set in the binder. Rarely see any of the stamp cards for sale. What are your thoughts on grading the whole set or keeping in the original binder? Have you guys picked these up before in your time in the hobby? So I've never owned these. 2004, that's quite a while ago. The worlds were a lot smaller then. They're quite a bit more rare and scarce than especially 2016 to current tropical, not tropical beaches, camping festivals. So I think they're great cards tied to the event. Really cool story and history to them. As far as your question of whether or not they should be graded, if you're keeping them as a collection item, that's entirely up to you, whatever you prefer. If your thought is on selling them, I think there's very few things that are worth selling as a complete set in my mind. I think you almost always do better piecing things out individually. So yeah, if there are truly mint or better, I think you'd do best just grading them all. If they're going to get 9s and 10s and then selling them slowly by now or by offer, I think you'll find there's a demand out there for those.
Yeah, I would pretty much just agree with everything you said. I've never owned any of those myself, but depending upon what you're looking to do with them, if you're just looking to keep those cards for yourself in your own collection, I'd personally just keep them in the original packaging without being graded. I typically like binder sets more so than graded cards for my personal collection. But like what you were saying, if you do decide to sell them at some point, definitely get them graded before you sell them, and definitely sell them individually versus the whole complete set. I think that's where you get the most value out of in basically anything that you're selling. So my next question is from Matthew B. He asks, Venmo recently introduced a buyer's protection fee for around 1.9%. Do you guys think you and or people in general will start using Venmo over PayPal significantly more for transactions with buyer's protection? And then I forgot to add this in our little note sheet, but he edited his comment and said that apparently, I didn't know this either, but apparently Venmo is owned by PayPal, which doesn't make much sense there. Why the fee for buyer's protection is less on Venmo than it is on PayPal? Because with PayPal, it's 2.9%. So I really don't understand that whole aspect of it. But in terms of using Venmo over PayPal, I don't think it'll. I think PayPal's just like such a standard payment method nowadays that I don't think people will ever switch over to Venmo. Plus, I actually ran into an issue with Venmo couple weeks back. I was trying to pay someone for it was I was trying to pay someone and trying to send the money via Venmo. And apparently, I never knew this, but there's a limit on Venmo as to how much you can spend or how much you can send per week. You can only send like $5,000 per week using Venmo. So I was having an issue sending one person money because I had reached my limit or something like that. So I don't think Venmo will ever take the place of PayPal. Just because, like I said, PayPal's kind of the standard. Plus, Venmo does have that limit, which limits the higher end purchases.
Yeah, Oh, sorry. Did you have more?
Oh no, I was gonna say I don't know if you had any differing thoughts on that.
I just learned that about Venmo. I've never had it, never used it. Given that there's that limit, it's just not attractive to me. I think
People really sweat the 2.9% fee a lot more than they need to.
Oh yeah.
I think generally speaking, if something's worth buying, it's worth buying for 3% more. Like being secure. So yeah, people just really tend to sweat fees a lot. Saving an additional 1%, creating a new account. It might even be one of those things where it's just like a new feature. So they're trying to tease people into it. A year from now, it might be the same 2.9%. So yeah, I'm not gonna bother with it, and that's my thoughts on it, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's always going to stay with PayPal. I can't see people switching over, especially when you think about it. It's only 1%. How much do you have to be spending for that to be actually worthwhile?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're spending $100,000 through it, it's $1,000, but you can also go out and find a good rewards credit card that pays you 2-3% to offset that. But yeah, the next question comes from Jamie Chris VA. How do you price out collections on what to pay? And another question, what sells better for you guys, modern or vintage? So I'll quickly start with the second part of that. Modern and vintage both sell great. They're two different things to me. Especially this past 18 months has just been crazy. Modern sells at a higher premium than it ever has right out of the gate. And it sells in higher volumes than it has in a long time, if ever. I mean, 1999 levels of just demand out there at various points over the past 18 months. How to price out collections on what to pay? I guess just to pump money on YouTube, I've got a video where I showed a spreadsheet of exactly how I bought a PSA graded base first set. But buying graded cards is easy. If you're talking about collections on raw cards, that's much more difficult. Years ago, it would be okay. These are the grading fees. It takes me a few weeks to a few months to get them back.
prices were relatively stable back then.
So you could just kind of,
This is what I want to pay because I'm going to pay this to grade it. And this should be worth roughly this when they're graded. Now it's like you can't even grade for under $200 a card. You've got to gamble on what are the service levels appropriate for these cards going to open.
what are
The price
is going to
be? How long is it going to take to get those back? What are the cards going to be worth then? There's
so many variables that it's impossible
to like to have as much confidence like buying raw collections with intent to grade. But if you're buying graded with intent to flip or raw with intent to flip raw, that's quite a bit easier. I mean, price what's there, what it sells for, figure out how many hours it's going to take you to do it, figure out what hourly rate you want to make, put in some buffer there, and throw out your offer or your bid.
Yeah, I would say so to answer the first question about what sells better, modern or vintage, I would say that I probably sell more modern single cards than I do vintage single cards, but I make more off of the vintage cards than I do the modern cards. And that's because I have a surprisingly lot of all my modern cards outside of the hits are priced at 99 cents a piece. And I have a lot of single card sales for 99 cents a piece, which at that point I'm just losing money shipping out that order. But then again, I also do have a decent amount of orders where people purchase multiple cards at once, and I'm actually making money. But with the vintage cards, basically any vintage card that I sell, I'm at least making something on. So I would say that I do sell a lot more modern, but I make a lot more with the vintage cards. But I do both, and I enjoy doing both as well. Like to mix it up a little bit. And then the second part, how do you price out collections on what to pay? I would just similar to what you said. To add on to that, I would also say it depends on what you're purchasing. Like if you're purchasing a booster box, a booster pack, something like a WotC box, WotC pack, something like that. Something that's going to be really liquid that you're going to be able to sell right away. You have to offer a lot more than you would on then like a common and uncommon bulk collection. So for me, I don't have many people coming to me with booster boxes, booster packs, or anything super high end, super liquid like that. But on the rare cases that I have bought that type of stuff, I usually offer around 85% of the previous sold listings, which once you take away the eBay fees and the PayPal fees, you're really not making much on that type of stuff. But the perk of it is it's selling almost immediately. So take that little bit of profit and use it to buy something else. On kind of like the mid-range stuff, like I actually, to promote my own YouTube channel too, I just did a video on a PSA graded card collection that I bought. And I paid around 70% of what the market value was on all those cards. So I'll be able to it'll take longer to sell all those cards, and I'll be able to make a bit more money off of that purchase as well. And then getting into like raw collections, binder sets, something like that. Usually pay 50 to 60% on holo cards, and then once you get outside holo cards, it's more or less just bulk pricing, like your non-holo rares, uncommons, common stuff like that. But it really just depends on what the collection entails. So that would be my answer to that one. The what question? Okay, so my next question is I'm gonna butcher your name here. I'm sorry. Hisoka 107. I'd like to hear both your opinions on why we haven't seen some of the Art Academy English cards. So that was his question. Basically, just wondering why we haven't seen any of the English Art Academy cards. And then I also added a hypothetical question onto this. Which I guess we can talk about that after. But the hypothetical question would be, what would we do with the Art Academy cards if we were skilled enough to draw? I don't know if you have any drawing abilities, but I do not. So
No, not at all.
But to answer the original question, why haven't we seen any English Art Academy cards? I honestly don't know why. I don't know if it's just like I don't know who won or who actually won on the English side, whether it was like a young kid. But I feel like nowadays where Pokemon it's been in the news and people are understanding that it has a lot of value to it. I feel like anyone would know that those cards do have at least a little bit of value. So I honestly have no idea why we haven't seen very many of those pop up for sale recently. The only thing I could think of is it's a little kid and he got the cards, forgot about them. His parents maybe threw them away, something like that.
Man.
But yeah, I know I honestly have no idea. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that one.
You want me to answer that part and then we'll do the other part separate?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, it's weird, I think, because anytime you think about something like that, you think about it with your own knowledge of the market. And I think we all think that Pokemon is a big part of everyone's life when it's really not. So like there are probably millions of people. I mean, you can tell by the sales numbers of some of these video games. There are millions of people out there that probably buying video games that just don't do anything with the cards. And so it could just be that somebody won these, they saw a contest for this game that they bought, they won it. I mean, it's crazy to think how wrapped up in the market we all are. But like maybe some people just don't know what they're sitting on. If they won 100 cards, oh, that's cool. Threw it away in a safe or in a box, moved away to college, whatever. I mean, that was 2016 or 2015.
I think it was 2014.
Somewhere in there. So it's been a while. I mean, I guess like if it was college or something, maybe they're working on a doctorate, and maybe they'll get back and they'll decide to sell them. But yeah, it could just be like not knowing, and then the other end, it could be somebody who just. There's a lot of people out there that just never sell anything. They're true collectors, right? I mean, some people they don't care to sell, whether they need the money or not. I mean, it could also be somebody who's just wealthy and doesn't need the money because at this point, if you've got your sealed brick of 100 cards, we'll get into this a little bit in the next part, the other half of the question that you posed, but you could be looking at anywhere between $200,000 and $1 million, right? I mean, to most people watching this video, to you and I think that is a substantial amount of money, but it's not to everyone. So maybe that plays into it too. But
yeah, I didn't think about it from that angle, where maybe they're just they just don't need the money or something like that. That could be very well be the possibility as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's two. If you want to like path it out, they either are aware of it or they're not. If they're not aware, they just have it because they don't know that they have anything. If they are aware of it, they're either
crazy,
like super patient, and they're going for optimal, like maximum value, sell 1 a year, 2 years, starting a decade later or something like. Super diamond hands patience, or it's just like they don't need the money or don't care to sell, whatever. There's a lot of potential reasons. They're probably all kind of crazy to most people as engrossed in the hobby as us, but yeah. So yeah, what would you do if you won several years ago? You get your break of 100 cards. What would be your
what would be your strategy?
So I didn't actually think about keeping the brick as a sealed brick with all the 100 cards in it. That would be kind of cool just to have that. But I don't think I think you would do better off opening it. So what I would do is I would go ahead and open it. I would very slowly grade the cards. Maybe send one at a time into PSA, because back then CGC wasn't an option. So I'd send one at a time into PSA, just so that the market didn't, or just so that the pop report didn't show 100 copies being entered right away. And then I would sell maybe one every 6 months or so, and just kind of slowly do that. I'd keep one for myself, but I think I would sell the rest of them.
Is
And
that how much of your answer are you kind of cheating and knowing the hindsight? Like,
Do you think you would have actually been that patient with it? Do you think you would have?
I don't know, because back then, obviously, it was a lot different, and I was in a different spot
$200
back
a card.
then as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess if we wanted to look at it from what I would do today with my current mindset, that would be it. If we wanted to look at it from where I was back then, I was actually, no, I wasn't even selling, so I wouldn't have done it. But no, but if I was selling, I was still in college back then, and I was a broke college student. So back then it would have just been a fire sale.
That's the thing, and some people did do that. I mean, there were the price point back then. I remember not buying them because they were expensive,
At like
100 to 300 a piece.
Yep.
So if I'm being honest with myself, I don't know. I don't
Want to jump in, read them with your
answer
answer,
or
Yeah. Well, what would you do with them?
yeah. So like if
if
I
I'm being honest with myself, if I
won them back then, that was a more substantial amount of money. I mean,
know what I know now, I know what they're worth, so it's hard to fully put myself back in those shoes. I like to think that I would have been kind of patient, but realistically, I would have been looking at, oh man, if I do this right, this is anywhere between 10 grand and 30 grand.
I probably
Would have been like, I want to sell a quarter of them, get 5 grand, maybe over the first year, and then like reevaluate, see how they go. That's what I kind of think. And then maybe sell 25 in the first year, 25 over the next 2 years, and then I probably would have had more than half of them gone before they got to the prices that they are today. But being realistic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe I would have
been more patient. Maybe I would have been better. But
like you, like long term. I would have never sold all of them. I probably would have always kept at least like
5 or 10, probably forever. Like
not
forever, but like for a really long time. I mean, I would die owning one of them at least. I would probably own 10 of them for 50 years, assuming I lived that long. But
then kind of like the
cheating answer, knowing what I know now, I think that there are a couple artists out there that are selling like for a year. There's one of them specifically that I think I'm actually slotted into like a 2023 purchase for one of them. Hopefully they don't lose my contact information, but
I think
that something
like
that is just a pretty good strategy. It's like a known schedule. There's a built-in price increase. Right now the market is just insatiable for it, so I think they're scheduled a few years out, even with price increases year over year. If and when people stop paying that, I mean, I think in a lot of people's minds, like the next 50 years is just going to be riding everything to the moon.
cards like this, especially, that may not be the case. I mean, this
could be, I don't think it's the case at all, but this could be the peak of them, right? Like people
could be
choosing not to sell them for anywhere between 3,000 and 10,000 a piece right now, and 5 years from now, the market might really soften on them, and they might wish they had. Who knows? Like I said, I don't really think that's the case, but I do own 10 or so of them, counting a couple duplicates, so I am a bit biased. Like on their, I think they're a really cool release and a really decent. I guess I don't want to say a decent buy in today's prices because the prices are fairly widely varying, but they were an amazing buy the past few years.
Yeah, looking back, they were an absolute steal.
That's easy to say.
But no, I don't know how I feel about those cards. There's a few that are really cool that I like, but there's also some that are just like the Mew for one, the Tadpole Mew.
Yeah.
I was never a big fan of that one. But they're I don't think I would ever buy one in today's prices. I'll put it that way.
My most recent one I bought a lot of them at record prices at the time. I mean, well, I guess record prices direct from the artist, but I did also buy a couple from the open market. I bought multiple from artists though. I mean, that's the ground floor, right? That's the best way to get in on that.
Yep.
But yeah, many times I paid market or like new market pricing, and I think if I were to have to liquidate them today, I think I'm doing really well. They've done well. It's a really cool though, like except for extra copies, everyone kind of knows how many are out there. They're just all grouped with one individual. It's a very unique release, and some people dumped 80 or 90 of them in the first year. Some people still haven't sold a single one. It's super interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is for sure. I wonder if like the what are those things called? You just showed one in your video. The Poke Creator packs. Those were kind of like, what was that?
I think we made 5,000 of them, right?
Yeah. And I think it was the 5 winners each got, I think they got 100 of them, and then they did like a second place where you got 25 of them or something like that. I forget the numbers, but those seem to be a lot more common now since they were, I guess it was just a whole different time, but where Pokemon pretty much died, so nobody really cared about those at one point, but you can pretty regularly find those now.
I thought the way that those worked was that like 5,000 people got one pack. I honestly don't even know.
I think the winners got more than that.
Oh, so like thousands of people did, but then some more were concentrated at the top.
Yeah, like the 5 cards. Those people got I want to say they got 100. Maybe it was less. Maybe it was like 25 or something.
That would make sense. Yeah. So 5,000 of the entrants got a pack, and then the 5 people who won, it would make sense that they'd get something.
Yep.
More.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll take an art class and win one of those.
Yeah. So our next question, Tommy
H asks, could you make a what is gradable and what's not video?
If we look
at that from the reseller's viewpoint.
So it was sometimes the questions aren't really specified, so we have to answer it in a couple ways.
If you're looking from a collector's viewpoint, it's easy reading what you want to trade.
From a reseller's viewpoint, a year ago everything was
under $10. I mean, 6 months ago, when you could still trade for under $10 a card,
you should have sent every
card you had in your house.
These days it's tough, right? It's a bit of a gamble on how that backlog coming back is going to affect prices. I think that I have a lot of stuff in each backlog that are in a little bit of
trouble if not for the fact that I'm paying less than $10 to get them in plastic. So it's like commons and uncommons from the Watsy era, non-hollows from the Watsy era, I think are not going to be worth grading for a long time again, just because so many got into the backlog, so many are going to be coming back, and the price points I'm grading are just going to be too high in the next 2 to 5 years. Maybe longer term, they become gradable again. But yeah, so I guess Watsy, non-hollows, and then modern. I think a lot of things aren't really gradable per se that are being graded and then like earning a profit somehow still. I think that's going to change, but maybe it never will. The demand for modern at relatively high price points just seems never ending. I mean, we've got some of these Charizards that are 5,000 PSA 10s, and yet they're still a multi-$100 card. I don't fully understand it, so I might not be the best to answer that, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, what is gradable is a lot easier. Like first edition Watsy hollows and mid condition or better, they're always going to be gradable. I personally don't like 7s and 8s as much. Base set first edition is a different animal. That's I mean, a lot of people say any hollow, any condition. I don't really, but 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shining Charizards, Gold Stars, especially Gold Star Charizard and Rayquaza. So, I mean, anything above $1,000, any card that's above $1,000 in any condition, you can pretty much grade in any condition. It's kind of a value thing, but short term right now, just like anything that raw is under $10. Yeah. $10, $20. That's what the grading fee is. So it's hard to say that those are gradable. Yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are. I kind of rambled on a bunch, and I don't know how well I answered it, but
No, I think you did a decent job. I would agree with you for the most part. The one thing where I disagreed with you, or I guess the two things, so you really didn't do a good job answering. No, the first thing was the first edition Watsy hollows. I don't like 8s either, but I feel like those are worth grading. So 8s, 9s, and 10s. Anything below an 8, I think you're just better off selling raw. When you come to unlimited hollows, though, that's when I would agree with you, 9s and 10s. And then anything below a 9, sell raw. The like the high end cards that you mentioned, completely agree with that. The other thing with the bulk cards, though, that's something I've been thinking about recently because I have a whole bunch of those, and so like you said back a year ago, you could pretty much send any one of those cards in and do well with it, since the cost of grading was so low. But nowadays, where the cost of grading is $20 or right around there, I've been wondering what I want to do with like I have a lot of mint shadowless cards, and then just common and uncommons from the whole Watsy era. So I've been wondering, do I still want to hold those to eventually grade, or do I want to start listing some as like complete common and uncommon sets and just add a premium for them being mint condition? And I think what my thinking is right now is anything that I'm gonna go back through and look through all those cards, because it's been a long time since I've looked through them. So I'm gonna go back through and look through them. Anything that I think has a solid shot at either a 9 or a 10, I think I'm still gonna grade those cards. Because I think the pricing on those types of cards, I think our new like floor pricing almost. You know how back in the day, when grading was like $10, your PSA 9 bulk cards would sell for around $10. So that would be a break even, and then you'd make your money off the PSA 10s. I think that's going to be similar to what's going to happen going forward, except our new floor is going to be $25 versus $10. So I think it's still worth it to grade commons and uncommons. You just got to be careful about condition and kind of know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So that's the only things I would add. Aside from that, you did. Thank you. I think you covered pretty much everything there. So my next question is from Jason B. He kind of had a few questions in one, so I'll read the whole thing, and then we'll I guess we'll answer them in parts. So he asks, at what point does it make sense to pay for the basic store service? For context, I usually run out of free listings towards the last few days of each month. I would like to have about a few hundred more active listings on average. Also, I am interested in the option of doing the store-wide discounts rather than lowering or raising prices on individual items. Do you have any luck with the coupon feature where you can send individual coupons to buyers for future use on other items? So I guess we'll kind of break that into three questions: the eBay store, the store-wide sale, and the coupons. For the eBay store, there's one aspect where I really enjoy having an eBay store because it's kind of like your own personal space on eBay. So you gotta figure out how much you actually value that. Being able to have kind of your own space within a much larger marketplace. So that's part of the cost right there. If you value that, I would say the basic eBay store is kind of it's a pretty simple decision where it's such a low price. But if you don't value that at all, basically it just comes down to whether or not it's cheaper to not have an eBay store or to have an eBay store. And to do that, all you have to do is you get 250 free listings per month, I believe. And then so just as an eBay seller, you get 250 free listings per month. Anything over that, you're paying, I believe it's 30 cents without having a store or anything like that. So if you have, say you have 500 listings, 250 of which are free, so you're paying for those extra 250 listings times 30 cents a piece. If that's more than what the basic eBay store costs you, then you kind of want to go that route and have the basic eBay store just so you can get more free listings. Hopefully I explained that without making it sound way too confusing.
I know I'm not great for answering this question because I've had like I think it's called premium. I've had the premium eBay store for years now. I don't even know what I'm paying, 50 or 70 a month or something. But I think I lock in for the year and get a reduced rate. I've had it so long, I don't know how many free listings I get. I know that I don't use them all. I didn't even know that the base was 250 for not even having a store. But I do know that years ago, what I was going to suggest is there used to be a calculator that eBay had. Because I think as a store, don't we get slightly reduced final value fees, or is that not a thing anymore?
I don't think we do.
It used to be a thing, I think.
Well, we do get the cap. It's like a $250 cap.
That's right. So yeah, the cap is a big thing if you're selling. I mean, if you're only selling 10 items a month, but a couple of them are like 10 grand, instead of paying like 10% roughly, instead of paying $1,000, you pay. It used to be capped at 350, and I think it's like 650 now. Whatever the case, but yeah, check if eBay might have a calculator that just lets you plug in. This is how many listings I do. This is the average value. And, years ago, they had something like that, and at the time, it made sense for me to get the premium, and I went with it. And you know that if you go up above the basic, they give you like quarterly coupons for. I think I get $50 every quarter. Make sure you go and you get your free eBay branded tape or tissue paper or boxes, padded envelopes, whatever you want for free. Because that is, I mean, $50 every quarter is like that $16 a month value discounting your store cost.
Yeah, that is nice getting the coupon, for sure. But yeah, then the other thing is I would definitely think about what you want to do in the long term. And if you do decide to open an eBay store, go for the yearly commitment versus the monthly commitment, because you can upgrade without having to pay a fee. It's only if you get rid of your eBay store, if you downgrade, where you have to pay a fee.
Yeah.
But you do save a lot by doing the yearly commitment.
Yeah.
And then his other question was, what was it? Store-wide discounts. I actually just finished up a sale that I was doing. I started it on August 1st, and I ran it until Monday, whenever that was. This past Monday, earlier this week. And my eBay sales went absolutely crazy during that time period. I did a 20% off on everything that was priced below $250. And then I did a 10% off on everything that was priced above $250. And I sold a ton of stuff during that whole time period. So I think the store-wide sales do really help. I usually run one like once every 6 months or so. Usually try and do one in the summer, and then one towards like right before Christmas as well. So I would recommend that. One other thing with like offering the discounts is I would also recommend sending best offers to buyers. That's another really popular one that actually generates a lot of sales, depending upon how many items you actually have listed. I'll do that every couple weeks, where I'll send out offers for like 10% off, 10-15% off. And that usually generates a lot of sales. Although, quick story, I do have, so there's one person in particular who I talk with a bunch on Instagram, and he also like watches a lot of my eBay items. So when I send these offers out to people, I don't know how they select which buyers receive those offers. I think it's mainly just if you're watching that item, you receive an offer. So he always gets pissed at me when I send those offers, because he gets a whole bunch of them. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that there.
I've used the send an offer thing a couple times, and it's usually like within an hour, I get a handful of sales at least. As far as store-wide sales, I've done them a couple times. Like sometimes it'll be just sporadically. It'll be like Cyber Monday, and I'm like, oh yeah, flash 10% sale for the week. Let's move some stuff that hasn't sold in a while. As far as the coupon feature, I've seen that and I've thought about it. I've yet to do it. I have kind of wanted to figure out a way to strategically do that on occasion, and maybe I think that like through the affiliate links, the eBay partner network, isn't there a way to do coupons with that too, where you could give some kind of a code? Didn't you do something with that on YouTube?
Yeah, that was through eBay.
Okay.
I set up one of those coupon codes, and then in my description, or I had a pinned comment basically saying, check out my eBay store, use coupon code blah 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 for 10% off, and then I would put my affiliate link. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to tie in that. You give a discount, and then you get a percent or two back from. So you give a 10% discount at the cost of only 8 or 9%, right?
Yeah, exactly. I actually did. I don't think I had a single person take me up on that. So I don't know how those work.
Yeah, eBay is massive, right? Every listing you have up on there,
is shown in front of tons of people. And then, relatively speaking, our YouTubes are quite small compared to the reach. So like, how much overlap is there between your YouTube viewers and then what people want to buy? And it's tough.
Yeah.
That was for like a finite period, right? You set those for a certain amount of days.
Yeah. I did. I think I did it for a whole month and nothing. I would like to though. See about when I order my next batch of business cards, adding a coupon code onto the back of those.
I've thought about that too.
Yep. And then I also I never realized this, but Vistaprint, who we both used to print our business cards, they actually have an option where you can create a QR code and put it on your business card.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to do that for next time too. Have like a QR code to my eBay store and then do like a 10% off code using OSP10 going off of Rusty.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, that's all I got for that one. I think we
okay
on that one. Unless you got anything else.
No, that was everything. My next question, Noiser, PXE, maybe. Hey guys, thanks for the podcast. With recent price rises in field modern products, and arguably due to the correlation to the expected values of slabs at their artificial premiums due to the PSA shutdown, when do you expect modern sealed product to uncouple itself from the correlation to expected values and rise in value when PSA 10s will inevitably start declining in value over the next year or two? So, kind of a lengthy question. I hope everyone kept up with that, and I hope I'm understanding it correctly. But essentially, what's being asked, we're in a really weird state. So for like, especially with Evolving Skies coming out, let's look at that. $200 a card. A lot of cards you can't even send. So a lot of the cards from this set, people are going to be chasing the alternate art specifically, but it's tough to send those out. So $200 a card. PSA 10 populations will be artificially low because if grading fees were $10 a card again, many more would be sent out. The pops would be driven up. So I think that what the question is asking, how long will it be until people can essentially grade what they want to grade, resulting in higher 10 pops, presumably resulting in lower prices? I have no idea. We could be years away. It's such a weird place. I used to send out a handful of cards from every set to grade. I haven't sent a grading submission since March still. Aside from some like higher service level, I haven't sent a bulk sub anywhere. I mean, you can't send it to PSA, right? And I haven't sent one to CGC even since March. It's just a super weird scenario. I don't think by the end of the year we're going to see sub $100 card grading. So, I mean, I guess if I pull a Rayquaza alternate art, I'll probably send it out for 200 or maybe 100 or 150 if that shows up soon. But yeah, it's just a super weird. That's a very tough question because it hinges on PSA opening up the lower tiers at lower pricing, and then like turning those same cards around. I mean, realistically, we could be 3 years away from being able to turn a new card around for under $25. As far as like the tier opening, sending it out, getting it back, it's just unprecedented. So it's a really good question, I think, and I don't have a good answer, but years minimum, 2 years minimum, I would say. How about you?
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Thing is, you gotta look at where PSA is right now with their backlog. I think they're finally getting into September. which even then you hear of people who have submissions that are out from June or July for whatever reason still. So even then, it's just a rough idea of where they're at with the backlog.
I'm one of those guys. I just paid up charges on one of the 750 specials from June. I just paid up charges.
I thought you were waving at me.
No, I'm saying like, yeah, me, I'm that guy.
Okay. uh, yeah. So yeah, they're basically still in last summer for grading, and the real grading mania really just started at on with where they're at right now: August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So we have a long ways to go before PSA even thinks about reopening their bulk service level. And even with modern product, I don't think modern's going to slow down anytime soon. With how good these sets are and how popular modern product is right now, um, it'll be interesting to see what happens next year and kind of what the next set's going to be after celebrations. But right now, modern is just craziness with everything that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'd have for that one. I think we covered that one.
Yeah.
So my last question is from Matthew B. He asks, do you guys have any advice on how to do large cash only transactions in person, large as in 5 figures? I'm a little nervous about these kinds of in-person transactions and would like to see if there's anything I can do to help mitigate the risk. Any recommendations on location and actions I can take would be appreciated. So I've only ever done one large cash transaction, and it was a semi-recent one, too, actually. But it really makes me nervous carrying around that much cash. I'm not a big fan of that. But the first thing that I would recommend is call your bank like well in advance, to make sure you can actually withdraw that much cash out of your account. Because even if you have the money in your account, like I had plenty of money in my account, but I tried to just walk into my bank one day and say, hey, can I take 10,000 out of my account? And they actually told me we don't have $10,000 to give you. So that kind of caught me off guard. I had to end up going to like 3 different branches of TD Bank to get all the money that I needed. So definitely recommend calling well in advance, asking or telling them that you're going to want to be taking out so much money. They might have you wait like a week before they can actually get it, a couple of days to a week before they can actually get it. So that was the first thing I learned. The other thing is about recommendations on location or actions to take. With mine, I trusted the seller fairly well. I had never met him, but we were talking a bunch through Facebook. We did a FaceTime call, so I had a good feeling. I trusted him fairly well, so we ended up just meeting at the hotel lobby that he was staying at. So it was a public location. There were other people around, so I really wasn't nervous. I did bring a friend of mine with me, so that's something I would recommend. Don't go alone. Just kind of, if something does go bad, at least you have someone else to help you out, get out of that situation. The other things I've heard is doing like the deal at a police station or at a bank where you can get the money from your bank and then the other person can put it right in his account. Those are good suggestions as well. I've never, like I said, I've only ever done one. So, but yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
I think you hit everything. The bank thing is just, I don't like banks. It is crazy that, I mean, fractional reserve banking is a thing. If you have $100,000 in a bank account, that's not physically sitting there in their vault necessarily. however much money they have in every client's account. They only need to keep some fraction of that. So yeah, that I wouldn't have even thought to suggest that. But if you're planning on going to get 30 grand out, or even $10,000 in your case, you really need to plan ahead. And it's kind of crazy. It's your money, and you should be able to just get it and use it. But that's a good consideration you made. My first suggestion was going to be the police station. I know, like, my local police departments, they've got their Facebook pages that I follow, and they can come on in, like, if you're doing a Craigslist transaction, if you're doing a Facebook Marketplace transaction, they've got a lobby that's open 24/7, security cameras, and I mean, that's probably as safe as it gets, right? Who's going to be crazy enough to try to put you in a police station lobby or parking out in front of it, walking in? So public places, let people know you're going. In certain states, it might be legal to carry some kind of self-defense, so that could be an option too. But yeah, I've done a few deals in that range. One was in an airport. And crypto, honestly, like, crypto is there's a little bit of fees associated with it, but as far as like not having to physically carry a duffel bag or a backpack full of cash, I mean, you can move a lot of money quickly for relatively low fees. And it's essentially like cash, right? You hand off the goods, you transact the crypto, and it's irreversible and it's done.
What kind of cash deal do you?
Duffel bag. I mean, the numbers these days are so big. Like, I think back, I bought a collection years ago. The guy actually came to my house. He drove in from Canada, and it was about $40,000 years ago. Today, it would, like, just thinking, if I were to buy that today, it would be like $400,000. How would you even do that? Because at the time, it was like, we drove to my bank, I got out a bunch of cash, some amount of it I paid via PayPal, some amount of it was a certified check from my bank. That was, because a consideration there was like, he didn't want to cross the Canadian border with 5 figures. We were in the high 4, and then some amount of it was a check, and that was, it's weird because, like, you're buying and selling things that are fully legal to, like, transact and do, but you're like, you're scrutinized and treated like a criminal almost when you handle large amounts of cash. It's just a unfortunate situation we're in. There's no perfect way to do it, and I guess one of the best answers is to just not do a large cash only in-person transaction if you can avoid it. Bank wires, in-bank lobbies, I mean, do things like that too are an option sometimes, but for kind of known reasons, I mean, sometimes it's got to be cash, right? Sometimes people will stipulate that.
Cash is king, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, I mean, part of being in the bank too, I've never really had the concern. I think I have the ability to reasonably, like, identify real money versus fake. But, like, say you're the one on the receiving end, and I've heard people like, I want to be at my bank so I can immediately deposit it, or so that I can see it come from a bank teller and know that it's real. Or if they're the seller getting the money, they want to be able to deposit it and know that it's real money, right? I mean, if you're doing a large cash in-person transaction, counterfeit money should be some amount of a concern, right? I've never heard of it happening in Pokemon specifically, but again, on the local Facebook police page, I've seen counterfeits popping up in my area from time to time. Someone sells an iPhone for $1,000 cash, and they go to deposit the money, and it's fake. I mean, that's a thing. So.
Oh yeah.
Just another consideration to keep in mind. But
really good question.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely.
Last question. Looks like Daniel C. got us both again. But I really paraphrased this down. Essentially, bought something for a few $1,000s on eBay or some similar platform, imported it to the U.S. I think it was FedEx specifically held it and charged about a $25 or $30 fee. I bought.
I know what he's talking about.
So FedEx, I think they might have this kind of a processing fee. I don't know that it's an import tax. I think they call it a processing fee. I have paid it once or twice. Roughly, it was 1% of the value. I just got an email, hey, you've got this bill due. It was such a small amount, relatively speaking, that I just paid it. I know I didn't question it. I paid it. Theoretically, I tried actually researching this before the podcast. I did a little bit of Googling, and certain items from certain countries, like I think there is some amount of import tax, 0 to 10% tops. Certain countries, though, like in Europe, they got a 25% VAT or a 35% VAT across the board on everything. The U.S. is nothing like that. Just these like niche types of items from certain countries, that there might be a thing out there. So I guess if you're buying something well into the 5 figures and you're worried about it, like do a little bit of research. General, like 99% of the time, though, there are no import fees in the U.S. As far as I've experienced and as far as I understand too.
Yeah. I was just thinking when because I was wondering what I didn't I was wondering about the whole import thing. But when you mentioned FedEx, that reminded me. I actually bought a collection from Canada and had it the seller shipped it for FedEx, and when it reached the border, I actually got FedEx actually reached out to me saying that it's a I forget the exact term, but it's like a commercial customs declaration form that you need to fill out over a certain value, which I forget what the value is, but basically FedEx handles that, and they charge you a fee for handling that for you. So I think that's maybe what's happening with Daniel Daniel C.
Yeah.
Versus an actual like import tax, because I have ordered like the acrylic cases that I order from China. Those are usually around 3,000, and I never have an issue receiving those. They always get held up in customs, which is probably, I'd imagine, because of COVID. But yeah, they get held up in customs for like a week, and then they get sent right to my house, and I never have to pay anything extra. So I guess maybe the company in China is taking care of whatever that is. But yeah, that's what I would have for that one. Have to answer that question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that does it for questions tonight. I think we're a little over an hour in. So from there, I guess, anything new, anything notable, anything you're buying, selling, anything else you want to chat about?
Well, we could get into the big news of last week, or I think it was last week, PWCC.
Yeah, that I did a video on that. I didn't get into the whole speculation game, and I really don't want to, as far as who might have done what, this and that. I just kind of, my biggest thing is like, this happened. What am I going to do about it? And my answer for that is not panic. Everything that was in my vault will remain in my vault for the short term. I forget who it was, but I heard somebody mention, like, I don't want to empty my vault when 100 or 1,000 other people are. And
maybe have packages switched. I think that's a good consideration. So
Yeah, that's another real big factor.
yeah, don't give them work anything in your vault when they're crazy busy and they might like screw it up. So that's a reasonable consideration. But yeah, I'm kind of in a holding pattern. It really sucks for people who were like needing money and they had a lot in the auction block for August, needing that payout in mid-September. But yeah, thankfully I wasn't in that position. I had 50 or so items slated for August and then another 50 or so slated for September. I'm just gonna go on hold the first month of their auction, whether that's October, I think they're targeting. I probably won't throw the full 50 or 100 that were due to be sold before then. I'll probably just throw a couple dozen that I'm like not too worried about. I'll be kind of the guinea pig for their first sale, but I also do intend to be a buyer in that first sale because I think there could be some deals here and there. Because it's not going to get the same buyer pool as eBay. eBay has a big buyer pool and visibility. So yeah, what are your thoughts on it? I don't think you can do a specialized video like everyone else for it, right?
No, I just let everyone else do their own specialized video. I think there's a lot that's going on and a lot of conspiracies that you can get into with the whole timing of this this blocking of PWCC. But outside of that, I don't think we're ever going to actually hear the true story of what happened. Because I feel like this might have been going on for a while. In terms of people who were consigning with PWCC, shilling their own auctions or having a friend shill their own auctions. So I think the timing is very strange. But I think it's somewhere in between what eBay is saying and what PWCC is saying. eBay was very vague with their statement. I really don't understand why they made it a public statement like they did. That was the first weird thing that happened. And then PWCC statement, I find that very hard to believe, where they were saying that it was the first time they've heard about this and all that. So I don't really take that. I think the truth is somewhere in between those two statements. But like I said, I don't think we'll ever hear the full story of what happened there. But the biggest thing for me is what's going to happen to PWCC next. I know there's a lot of people who believe eBay and are on eBay's side. There's a lot of people that are on PWCC's side, and they're just saying that eBay is trying to get rid of them because they want to create their own platform and blah blah blah. So it'll be interesting to see where PWCC goes with this. I think, like what you were saying with their first auction, I think it's going to take a long time for them to kind of build back up their reputation. I know I didn't watch the first high-end premier whatever auction they did on their own website, but I heard that one had a lot of glitches and did not go over so well. So I think
the extended timer, they like tied all the items together, and then like when one bid was placed on any item, it extended all the items together, and it just sounded like a miserable process. I think they really shortened down the extended clock for like late bids.
Yeah, so they're definitely gonna have to fix that. And then I don't know if they'll ever in the short term, I don't know if they'll ever be able to be as big as they were on eBay. Because while PWCC has a huge mailing list and reputation amongst people that know cards and are into buying and selling cards, and are very familiar with the market and all that stuff, but eBay just has such a larger reach. I think PWCC is going to lose a lot of business branching away from eBay.
Yeah,
but it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. The first auction they do will be really interesting to watch to see what happens. Yeah, the only other concern that I would have is I don't know if I necessarily believe that people who work at PWCC were shilling their own auctions, because when you think about it, they're only getting a percentage of that sale. So even if they do shill the auction, the amount they're getting from that sale is so little. Is it even worthwhile? But if for whatever reason that was true, um, PWCC creating their own platform and branching away from eBay, how is PWCC going to be able to kind of ensure that they don't bid on their own auctions, I guess, or kind of give that transparency that, hey, we're not actually bidding on our own auctions. I think that's something that they're going to have to do now. Whether it be like a I don't know, I have no idea how they could do it, but like a third party type of platform or something like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I have a lot of cards at the vault, and I'm gonna keep an eye on how things go. I mean, I'm not ruling out of the question. Like, I could get them all back from the vault. Golden's got a vault now. I think having a vault is gonna be the new thing, and they're gonna be springing up. So I mean, potentially I might move somewhere else, but for now, like, I'm not too concerned with the whole notice that went out. I think that, yeah, a lot of things are being overblown, and I think a lot of the people reacting so strongly and lighting them up on their social media is like, how I don't even buy and sell stuff through them. Some people just like to be outraged and join in on the the mob.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'll be curious to know who's going to fill the gap now with eBay. Kind of like consignment services within Pokemon on eBay. I think Rusty and Scott are going to start seeing a lot more people looking to consign through them, which will be great for them if they're able to kind of handle all the consignments. Because I don't think everyone's going to want to hop right over to PWCC. I think there's going to be a lot of people that want to stick with consigning on eBay.
Yeah, I mean, Probstein's there, right? There's a couple others reasonably sized, but none as big as PWCC was. Consigning is just tough because, like, I mean, even Scott, he deals with some amount of unpaid items, right? And it's like shilling is a thing that happens on eBay, whoever it's coming from. I guess I'm going to get into it a bit more than I did in my own video, but like PWCC, when people do not pay a single item that they win, permanent ban. You are banned from PWCC. So on eBay, it's so easy to just create a new account. Like,
Yeah.
Heritage, Hakes, Golden. If you buy an item, one, they've got your name, they've got your address, they've got like your business identification paperwork if your sales tax is exempt and all that. So if you buy a bunch of items and don't pay, you're gonna have like strongly worded letters coming from attorneys to your address, and like it's gonna be a serious thing. And on eBay, it's just like unpaid item strike, slap on the wrist. It's nothing. Worst case scenario, you get a few of those, you might get banned. And then you just create another account with your dog's name. And it's like, if they really truly cared about shill bidding, they could do a lot more things. They could implement a lot more things and make it a bit harder to create an account. So yeah, not really buying their concern over shill bidding being too valid because it's been years since I've consistently done auctions. Years ago, I did do them a bit more. It was just such a poor experience when 5 to 10% of your items wouldn't get paid, and then the same username the next week would do it again with an X after their name or a 2 after their name, and it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand eBay auctions anymore.
Yeah.
Because you always have the ones that go unpaid.
I like buying auctions and I like selling buying house.
Oh yeah, no, buy it now all the way, and then immediate payment too.
Yeah.
But did you have anything exciting happening this week?
Um, I'll probably do a separate video on my own channel for it, but I had never bought or sold on TCGPlayer up until 2 days ago. I created an account. My long-term intention for that is I'm a big proponent of Toronto Evo. I've talked about it several times in this podcast and on my channel. TCGPlayer has a similar thing called TCGPlayer Direct. To get to where you can utilize it, unlike Toronto Evo, you can't just out of the gate become a seller, send stuff to them, have them sell it. You need to like build up like 50 sales maybe. So I created an account the other day. I got my first 3 sales under my belt. Shipping plain white envelope, which is scary because it's like zero feedback seller. Are people just gonna scam me and whatever? It's like I think I had my biggest order was like $18. It was a handful of those signed Marnie cards.
Oh yeah.
I had 2 sales of like one of them was 4 versus secret, I think, and one of them was 8. If it ends up to when I get scammed out of 50 or $100, I'll just close the account and never try it again. But hopefully I can build up some sales and just get to where I can do TCGPlayer Direct because I think that the whole outsourcing order fulfillment is just a really attractive thing to me. And I think there's an opportunity for certain things, more like playable cards sell better on TCGPlayer. It seems like more volume, more premium. Whereas Troll and Toad, I think like the collectible type cards do better. So yeah, that's just kind of a thing that's going on that I felt like bringing up. Do you have any experience with TCGPlayer, buyer, seller?
I've actually never bought or sold on there. I've looked into it in the past. But my biggest thing was I didn't want to have to start out with that account limit.
Yeah.
Where you can only list 100 items. Yeah, that just sounds like too much. It's too much of a hassle to only because then you got to kind of pick. Okay, what's going to sell good, so you can kind of build up that feedback to list more. I just don't. I'm very unmotivated when it comes to starting out as a new seller again.
I guess actually, and I just thought about this, but to tie it into the whole PWCC thing, like PWCC had been in the works on creating their own selling platform. They already had the Premier auction launched. They had their own auction platform in the works, but part of my consideration is too, like, I don't show that and I never plan to, but like theoretically, if something were to happen to my eBay account to where I could no longer sell through it, having a relationship with Evo to where I can sell through Troll and Toad makes it so like losing eBay wouldn't lose me everything.
Yep.
And just adding on TCGPlayer is a bit more of like diversification, right? Like a lot of people talk about diversification as far as like buying diverse holdings, spreading your risk in what you like invest in or collect or whatever. But I think that for like a business to sell only through one platform, to have it where if that platform were to fail somehow, either eBay goes under, which I don't remotely think is going to happen, or eBay for some reason has some kind of a system glitch and they flag and ban your account, losing all your sales revenue for a period of weeks or months could be really bad, right? So having those alternate platforms could be really helpful.
Now, one thing, going along with that, you mentioned, I think it was in your last video, you were talking about that, and you mentioned about having your own website. Have you ever thought about that?
I've thought about it. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I kind of went on this earlier with the Venmo PayPal conversation.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people really are too fee averse. Like, I think what eBay charges and what Trolling Code and TCGPlayer charge for what they offer is way beyond reasonable.
Oh, I think so.
Like, if I create my own website, I can link to it with my 400 subscribers on YouTube, and I can link to it with my 1,300 followers on Instagram. But when I throw something on eBay, I can link it to tens of millions of people.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like I would gladly pay 12, 15% to like have all that done for me. And like if I create this website, there's some amount of work to do it, some amount of cost to keep it up. Then you've got cross listing between eBay and the website and pulling things down and sell on the other. And I think there are like applications and like features that can do all that automatically, but like I do pretty well where I sell now. And I don't know. I guess down the line, maybe the most likely way that I can see it, like James ZNG, I think he sells like his light or his unweighed packs. I think one time he did do some heavy packs and he graded the light packs, but for an item like that where it could be a bit dicier selling it on eBay, like say down the line I became okay, I'm gonna sell some heavy packs. I'll open them on YouTube. I think having like a, but then again, that could just be done through PayPal too. It wouldn't necessarily have to be done through a website.
Yeah, that's true.
How about you? When is Pokemon.com?
So I actually spent a lot of time researching and thinking about having someone build a Shopify website for me. But the two biggest concerns that I had were, at least I have to imagine that there's some type of application that can link your eBay store with your website to kind of control inventory automatically versus you having to go in and do it yourself. But the people that I was talking to design a website for me said that wasn't going to be possible. So that was the biggest thing for me, because I wanted to have everything listed on eBay and my website, and they said they wouldn't be able to do that. So that was my biggest hesitation. And then the other thing was the whole shipping aspect, where it's similar to almost it's kind of like having to do like individual shipments through eBay or through PayPal or something like that. It's tough to make a batch shipping type of program on your own website. So between those two things, I kind of completely stopped thinking about that. Maybe it'll happen at some point in the future for more like higher end cards, graded cards and stuff like that. Just to kind of have both avenues available. But overall, I think eBay is the way to go. You get the massive amounts of exposure, and where neither of us have much of a following at all. I don't think our website would be getting too many views every day.
Maybe we'll have to merge forces and just create a combined website so we can team up our two fan bases.
We'll have a whopping 2,500 fans.
Yeah, I'm slacking in that department. You're really, I'm just trying to ride your coattails there and get it on your website.
But no, I wish TCGPlayer were easier to ship stuff. I'd like to look into that as well. That'd be another thing to look into. Like what you're doing there. Because I definitely think they're the way to go for modern playable cards, like what you were saying. But the whole shipping process that you were talking about sounds absolutely miserable.
And my goal is just to do it for a few weeks to get to that number, and then just TCG direct everything.
See, that's where we differ right there. I haven't sent stuff off to Evo in the longest time. So I love, as much as I complain about it, I love just being able to see my active eBay listings just keep growing and growing, and start seeing those sales going more and more. Where with Evo, I check it like once a week. I'll update pricing, see how much is in my account, and that's really about it. It's not as much fun for me. I like having to work 25 hours a day going through all these cards.
Yeah, bit of a masochist, I guess.
Well, now we'll see what happens in the future. But
Yeah, I'll let
yeah,
you
right?
know. I think the way TCGPlayer works, I think you do like unlock some more features and tools. So yeah, I'll let you know if it gets easier or better, 10, 25, 50 sales in.
I would imagine it has to.
Yeah, I mean there are massive stores on there selling thousands and thousands of items, tens of thousands, I think. There's got to be an easier way. Because writing those 3 envelopes out today, and that wasn't pleasurable, especially if people say they didn't arrive. That will really drive me nuts.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll have to get back into buying stamps on eBay again.
I've got like 400 pre-stamped envelopes left, I think. I've been using them for random things over the years, over the months or a couple of years, I guess. But I used to buy. There was a time I was doing 200 orders a week. A large majority of those being plain white envelope, like 5-6 years ago. I don't ever plan to return to it, but yeah, I used to buy envelopes 1,000 or 2,000 at a time. And it just got to where, like, when I got done with it, I still had a few hundred left, and I'm still sitting on those. That was a good investment. Stamps went up quite a bit while I had those.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Not quite Pokemon returns, but decent.
Just keep holding those for the long term.
I don't think they've ever gone down, right? Guaranteed to go up over time.
Oh, they'll never go down. Not a chance. Well, we could talk about MetaZoo since we're getting towards the end here.
Yeah, I guess one thing I wanted to address, it's weird, like an hour and a half into the video maybe, but like anyone who hasn't been watching my other videos, anyone who's just watching this on Mix, I have a plain background because I'm redoing like my space. I'm doing a new office build. So yeah, last week was like framing the walls, doing the studs, roughing in the electrical. This week so far has been joint compound mud on the sheetrock, drywall, whatever you call it. A lot of sanding and painting and finishing the drywall. Next couple days are going to be finishing the electrical work and just wrapping everything up and then moving everything back in. So yeah, a little bit of exciting time for me getting a new space to work in. So for now, you've got just a nice white wall to look at. Actually, nuance, I think they called it, was the color. A very slight off-white. I'm a very plain guy. I don't like my wife chose all the colors for our house, and every room was a different color. And I'm kind of like my dad, to where if it was up to me, the whole house would just be off-white. So I get that.
Nice. Yeah, you're almost to the fun part. The once you get everything finished up, being able to like hang all your posters and get all your furniture in there. That's the part I really like. Being able
Yeah,
to
feel free to
like
drop
the
in the
interior design
comments
part.
if you've got
Recommendations on like display case type things or shelving or different things to display some items. I've actually got a couple that I bought years ago, like PSA display cases that I've never had place to put up. So I'll get some of those up and I'll try to, I should have the ability to like change up I have a few different walls I can kind of set up differently and depending on the video, show kind of different things. But
That would be nice. You'll have to get some of those. Have you ever bought the Pokey Dreamer like PSA cases?
I haven't bought them directly, but I have a couple.
Okay.
I like them because
I bought random items that just came in them.
Okay. Yep.
yeah, they are nice.
Yeah, those are real nice. I'm always scared to hang stuff up, but I have the 16 PSA card frame, and I wanted to hang my Shadowless base set, like the 16 hollow set, but I'm always scared to have something like that out.
Yeah, that is tough.
Mm.
I have a big one. Like I've got a couple of the 3-card ones.
Yep.
I definitely have a 16 because 16 is just nice for like base through. Well, fossils only 15, but base and jug level 16. I want to say I have like a 50. 50 is a weird number. I don't think it's 50, but it's somewhere like maybe a 48. I have a big
I wonder what that would be for.
I don't know. I'm just gonna throw a lot of stuff in it.
It would
Yeah.
it would also be cool to do get like a binder base set and put it in a frame. That'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got a lot of wall space to work with now, which is I like a lot. So I'm excited to
get that all.
set up and running.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, that'll be fun. That will be fun for sure.
And yeah, sorry to jump in there.
I know you were anxious to talk about MetaZoo, so
Oh yes, yes.
We're a long ways.
hopefully we've just got our core people that really love us and won't hit the dislike button on us.
We're talking about medicine.
The hardcore fans, yes.
Actually, you threw it right in your thumbnail. How'd that work out? Did you get hit with a lot of?
No, that's actually like my number 2 trending video.
Oh man, we gotta get channels now. This is a MetaZoo podcast.
Now, for those of you who don't know, when you have a YouTube channel, YouTube ranks your past 10 videos based off of how many views and how many likes, and I don't really know how they rank them, but I think it's mainly off of the views within a certain time period.
Yeah.
But they rank them usually my videos, my modern videos especially, perform terribly. They're always like 7 or 8 out of 10. My decent videos, the videos that I think I did good with, usually show up around 4 or 5. Very rarely do I have a video that gets like the 1 or 2 slots. And recently, I've been killing it. My purchase video, which included MetaZoo, is number 2 right now, and then my trade with Rusty, the pin video, is number 1. So
Nice.
maybe there is something going on with MetaZoo that we should start promoting it. But you did the opposite approach, Mr. Sneaky.
Yeah, I didn't have it in the thumbnail or the title or the description.
I just snuck it in
there in the last couple of minutes once all the majority of people were gone, and I forgot to check the dislikes on that video. I don't know if I got more than normal or anything, but yeah, I'll have to check that. But yeah, I intend to. I still have not opened anything myself. I bought some loose card collection collections.
You bought some
Actually-
card collections?
I think I showed that in the video, right? I bought like a near complete non-hollow Kickstarter lot.
Oh, I don't remember if you showed it, but I remember you talking about it. Yeah.
And then I bought
4 separate Kickstarter boxes, and I sold one. I've bought like 10 first edition boxes, I think. But I haven't opened any yet. I want to open it for the first time on video, and I want to really give. I think they're doing a lot of cool things. The cryptid idea kind of intrigues me. I'm really excited to open it, and maybe when I open it, I'm really not gonna like it, and maybe I'll just move out of it quicker than I think. But I don't intend to become a MetaZoo channel, and I'm not getting free product from anybody. I'm not shilling it. I'm genuinely kind of excited for it to see what they do with it. I think known print quantities, different wrap for each set for the booster boxes. The next booster box is supposed to be like walnut art or something, which is kind of silly, but it's kind of cool, I think.
Oh, that's definitely kind of cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of interesting things. So
Yeah,
you picked up.
yourself. You got a box right behind you there.
yes, got a nice little booster box in the background. It'll be interesting to watch your video on Saturday to see what your opinion of the cards was or is. I've only ever opened up one pack. Back at Collecticon, they were handing out packs. So I've only ever opened up that one pack, and I really didn't care for the cards. Then again, I really didn't know anything about the cards, so I was just kind of looking through them, and I forget who was there who was giving the packs out to us. It wasn't Michael, but it was someone who was involved with MetaZoo. But he was the one who pointed out, oh, you got this such and such a holo. I couldn't even tell you what I got, but yeah. So the cards themselves really don't excite me very much. There's some cool looking artworks, but for overall, maybe it's just because I don't know them that much, where I know Pokemon a lot more. But
Yeah.
the cards themselves, I don't get too excited over. I do like the artwork on the boxes and the theme decks themselves. I think that's pretty cool. I think they did a good job with that. And then I do like the whole concept of what they're trying to do with the whole like what you were saying. The different releases, instead of doing just first edition and unlimited, they're going to be doing, I don't know what they're going to be doing, but it's going to be more releases with different kind of stamps to separate the variants, which I think that's a really good idea for collectors. Those kind of completionists are going to need to purchase more product, which could be good for MetaZoo in the long run. And then I think all the partnerships as well that they're forming, I think that could be really good, with Steve Aoki getting involved. And then I don't know much. I don't know if you know much about it, but I heard they were doing some collaboration with Topps as well, which that could be really interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to come out of that.
Yeah, I know nothing about it except for the fact that I also heard something about it. So like I'm aware that something exists, but I have no idea what.
But yeah, no, anything with Topps is usually good, unless of course it was Pokemon. But you couldn't give those cards away back in the day. But yeah, no, I just I don't think I'm going to open any of my MetaZoo product. It's all going to stay sealed. Obviously, I'm a big theme deck collector for Pokemon, so I had to go with the theme decks, even though those usually never perform very well compared to booster boxes. But I'm gonna plan on collecting at least one of each theme deck from each release, and then buy at least a couple booster boxes from each release as well, to just see where it goes. And if it does go anywhere, I should have everything except the Kickstarter box, kind of everything from the beginning, which would which would be nice. Wish I did the same with Pokemon, but can't say I did that. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Are you planning to buy anything besides the boxes?
I didn't pick up any of the theme decks or anything. None of the release event medals or whatever. None of like promo stuff. It's intriguing though. I've been full time for a month now, and I've since even before going full time, I've always kind of intended to look into other TCGs and get involved in them to some extent. I guess MetaZoo is going to be my first real step towards doing that. I mean, I bought a handful of Fortnite booster boxes years ago, and I bought a few Final Fantasy boxes years ago, but I think this one I'm going to try to like stay a bit more up to date on it, and I think it'll be 5% of my business or less. But again, diversification. I think it's an important thing, and again, the cryptid thing to me, it hits me for some reason. I know a handful of people that are really into the whole Bigfoot lore and Sasquatch and all that. And I mean, when they do international, the Loch Ness Monster and whatever else, I think there's a fair bit of different like TV shows about those type of things, and I think some of them have pretty decent followings. So people into that kind of sci-fi, mythical type creature, whatever you want to call it, urban legends. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see how the gameplay works too. Like I know Charlie or the Legacy event, the one that Charlie's helping to put on. They're gonna be
Legends Expo.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna be doing a MetaZoo tournament there. So that'll be kind of interesting to see about watching that. I'm still on the fence about going to that event, but it might happen. But it would be interesting to see how the actual gameplay works too, because that I have no idea how that works. It does seem kind of weird from what I've heard. Like I don't know if any of it's true, but I've heard like if it's raining outside, some cards do better. I've heard if there's some card that if for however many balloons are in the room, it does more damage. So stuff like that just sounds weird to me. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the game actually does.
Yeah, I think there was a tournament a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago, maybe that Gary kind of talked about to some extent. I never really heard anything from that, how it went, if it was well received or poorly received, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't play Pokemon and I love collecting it, so. But that said, a lot of people do play it, and how needed is that? I mean, if it really flops play-wise and people hate it, that could be its downfall. Who knows? I mean,
yeah, I think with a TCG you need the playability aspect.
You need a lot of people too.
Yeah, you can't just be something that you collect.
I guess then they could just pivot to a CCG, right? Just stick with
exactly.
Stick with tops and do all the parallel foils and technochromes going.
But now it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll eventually quit Pokemon and go to MetaZoo. Sell off our Pokemon collection and go all in on MetaZoo.
You're really gonna get us those dislikes and unsubs now. I thought I had one more thing I wanted to bring up. can't think of it
Well, I'll just sit here in awkward silence while you think of it.
now. I think I'll have to go to the next one because I think we're getting too close to 2 hours.
We're at 1 hour 50 minutes, so we did pretty good tonight.
Yeah. As always, questions for the next podcast, feel free to leave them in the comments on either. I think this one was 11 questions, right?
Yeah,
We haven't really
I think we had
gotten
11 this time.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there consistently yet, but I do think that there's a future for this podcast where we won't be able to answer everyone. So, like, if you're in the comments and you don't have a question, but you see one that you like, throw a thumbs up on it. And I mean, I think for the foreseeable future, we'll still do all of them. But hopefully, this grows to the point where like we get 50 each, right?
That'd be nice.
And we just take the 3 highest or 5 highest, whatever the case, the most upvotes. So just something for the future to be sure to upvote the questions that you like. And other than that, yeah, I think that's. I don't know if you have any closing thoughts.
No, I think we're good. It was it's always fun being able to chat with you. Looking forward to the next one, which will be should have some more stories by then, because we got a collector's con in between that one, which I am really looking forward to. But be able to tell you all about that for the next podcast.
Yeah, I don't have no events I'm going to or anything like that, but hopefully I should be a ways further. I'm pretty much done with the office and then like settling into it more, getting everything situated. And so I'm excited for that. We'll both have something exciting to talk about, I think. So should be another good one for lucky number 13.
Yes, on to number 13.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks then.
Sounds good.
Catch you all later.
Have a good one.